get into the topic we promised here. So we got to talk about Eli Manning and Tiki Barber, who, guys, I know I'm going to be a little homer when I say this, but these guys are both bona fide Hall of Famers. Tiki Barber should have been in the Hall of Fame point blank already. And maybe this is the year, guys. This is the first year of eligibility for for Eli Manning. So it's not like we can complain about him not getting in sooner. But I will definitely complain when it comes to Tiki. The nominees are down to 50 nominees for the modern day players that get in. So keep in mind there's multiple categories. There's the modern day players. There is the veterans committee, so to speak. They're getting the old timers there, like the Otis Anderson and Carl Banks. Not they probably appreciate being called old timers, but it is what it is. Sorry, you guys played 40 years ago at this point.
The A's were a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, they had the committee for contributors and coaches, and that's where Tom Coughlin comes into play now. Originally, Chris Snee and Justin Tuck were also in the original group as well, so they did not make the first cut. Listen, I got a lot of respect for both players, but I'm sorry, neither one of them are Hall of Famers. I'll be the homer, but I'll be the honest homer. Like Justin Tuck and Chris Snee are both in the Hall of Very Good, and they're definitely, all-time great Giants, but they're not all-time great NFL players. There is a difference between the two.
You're probably right.
I usually am.
That's not true. You know that.
Except for
but you can disagree with that. Yeah. Oh, with the one difference? Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, we will. Listen, I'm still up. Anyway. So in another 4 weeks, they're going to go ahead and reduce the list down to 25. So they're going to cut that in half. And then the final list there, the final nominee group is going to be listed in February for everybody there. So we'll have to see what happens there. I hate to say it there, but I do think Eli is going to make the second to last cut and not make this class. That's my personal opinion. There's some people that just think that this first ballot Hall of Famer thing means something extra. So that'll probably hold him back because there's still a question in some people's eyes whether he's a Hall of Fame or not.
So guys, get out there and vote.
Stupid or not? That's their question. Is it stupid or not? But yeah. The next one is Tiki. And like I said, I think Tiki should have already been in. But there seems to be something against him. And I think it's, honestly, I hate to say it this way, but I think it's his personality.
Well, I mean, we've talked about Tiki like when he left the Giants and like how he went out sour. Like that goes a long way, which shouldn't reflect you on how you played in the NFL. You can be the biggest douche out there, but as long as you can move that football downfield, that's all that matters when it comes to the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's also, I think it's beyond what happened with him and Eli. I think it's also just partially his personality in general. It's a little abrasive to some people. And I think it's also, there's the personal things he had with the ex-wife at that point when he first joined CBS and all. Again, that's his personal business. It shouldn't matter when it comes to things like this. There's people who have marital issues all the time. There's people that, again, I hate to say it this way because I'm not trying to make light of it on a personal level, but there's people who have extramarital affairs all the time. Like, that's not a thing for the NFL Hall of Fame. Whoa, what is going on there, Rob? We are losing you.
I don't know what's going on. I am sorry.
Rob, like a horror movie here.
Geek. Oh, jeez.
It's like you're the tape from Saw here. What's going on? But yeah, it's like, he's it's not the NFL Hall of Fame's business as far as that part of it there. So I'm hoping that that's not, something that holds him back there. If you want to hold him back so you don't believe he's a Hall of Famer, that's one thing. But the personal stuff shouldn't get into it, Like that's what I think, at least. It shouldn't. So, we'll see what happens overall. But there's plenty of people you can make the case for not being in because of personal reasons. I mean, listen, we talk about him often on the show because he's an ex-Giant himself. He's also, we would call him the GOAT because he is the greatest defensive player of all time. Lawrence Taylor, let's be honest, guys. If you're talking about players who maybe you don't want to put in the Hall of Fame because of things they did, just saying. I'm not suggesting he should be in the Hall of Fame. But it's like, if you're going to leave LT and people that have done way worse than him, you can't take Tiki up because of personality issues and a least rumored extramarital affairs. I don't know if he ever admitted to point blank having one. So I don't want to say like he definitely had one, but that's the rumor.
Rumor has it.
Again, I've talked about the show numerous times, and I'll make the comparison again. He's the Giants Marshall Faulk, guys. He has the same exact yards per year as Marshall Faulk on average. The only difference is Marshall Faulk, played 2 more years and had a lot more touchdowns. He played on better teams. The greatest show on turf. Tiki was Tiki. Tiki was the offense. And Tiki retired at the peak of his playing, which it sounds crazy because, listen, he retired early, but it wasn't like he retired at 27 years old. Like he was still, he was what, I think 30 when he retired, was it? I think.
I believe so. It was, right in that ballpark. Like he just got over his Fumaruski issues.
Yeah, 31 years old. So listen to this here, guys. This is the total yards here for him on his career from 2000 to 2006. You're talking a 7-year stretch, guys. Once he started being the Tiki Barber we know now. 1,725 total yards, 1,442, 1984, 1677, 2,096, 2,390, and 2,127, guys. That's insanity. The man literally has 15,632 total yards of offense to his career. That's nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. Like, if that's something you can't sit there and respect, like that's a lot, guys. That's an absolute lot. I'm curious where he's at on the list, actually. It's making me want to look this up. So I'm going to do it. I love looking things up. But of course, he's not even coming up. Let's see. He's got to be here. Let me see where he's at. So 15,632. 15,632. Well, that's weird. He's not on the list for Pro Football Reference at all. Oh, here he is. So they got him return yards too. I forgot he did return kicks and punts for a little while there when he first started. He's 17,359 total yards, guys. You know who he's right behind? Larry Fitzgerald and Curtis Martin. You think the guy's a Hall of Famer?
Definitely should be.
Top 17 all-purpose yards, guys. He's got more yards than Thurman Thomas, Tony Dorsett, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Edgerrin James, Jim Brown, Eric Dickerson, Isaac Bruce, Antonio Brown, Tony Gonzalez. I mean, we're talking like these are big names he's in front of, guys. We got to put some respect in the Tiki name, guys. I know there's some bad blood there, and some fans still will not like him because of the Eli comments. I get that part of it. You got to take the Eli hat off for a second. Just look at what this man did in his career. He is a bona fide Hall of Famer and should be in the Hall of Fame and should have already been in the Hall of Fame. And it'd actually be kind of fitting and kind of ironic to have him and Eli go together. Right? Seriously, like, think about that for a second. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, I think if you put, imagine like Tiki Barber has to share the stage repetitively with Eli.
So he exited the NFL.
And then, hold on, it gets better. Then you throw in Tom Coughlin, the coach he hated so much he retired to not play for him.
They all should get in. That'd be fantastic.
Listen, I'm still calling for it because I still think those guys are legit Hall of Famers. I still think that Carl Banks is a legit Hall of Famer. I still think that Otis Anderson, everybody I talked to that watched Otis play in his prime, says point blank he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, we could have a bunch of Giants in the Hall of Fame this year, guys. This could be like a Giants class, and it wouldn't be out of chaos there. It would definitely be a legit bona fide thing to say. That's a little crazy, guys. I mean, Tiki Barber, by the way, I'm looking this up. He's 400 total yards away from Adrian Peterson. He's only 1,100 yards away from Barry Sanders. You don't think this guy's a Hall of Famer when he quit when he was still in his prime? I know 31 doesn't sound like a prime for a running back, but he was still over 2,000 total yards that year, guys. If he had played one more year, even at that point, okay, one more year, he'd be number 8 all time, and career all-purpose yards. If he had done 2,000 yards, if he had done, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, obviously, but he deserves to be in the Hall.
Definitely.
All righty.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.